There have been tons of debates about what's the strongest quirk in My Hero Academia, and well, today I'm here to answer that question. Today's video, I'm going to be ranking the top 10 strongest quirks in My Hero Academia, and if you disagree, if you think that another quirk should be at number 1, you're just simply wrong. But before we get started with today's video, I need you to make the best decision you can make all day by leaving a like on the video, sharing the video, leaving a comment, and most importantly, if you already haven't, Detroit smashing that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss another top tier video ever again. But without further ado, let's get started with the video. Imagine having a quirk that lets you spawn a shadow demon from your stomach. Tokiyami's Dark Shadow quirk is undeniably one of the strongest quirks in My Hero Academia. During the day, Dark Shadow is one of the strongest quirks in the series, but at night is when it becomes an absolute menace. Because if you leave Dark Shadow in a dark room, it has the power to destroy a forest. But downside of using Dark Shadow in the dark is that it's a lot harder to control. But under the right circumstances, it's able to compete with some of the strongest villains. Dark Shadow is strong, but it ranks really low just because you're able to combat it using the flashlight on your phone. Alright, look, so this might be cheating, but I don't really care. I'm going to be using the movie quirks on here, and the first one we're going to be talking about is the quirk Chimera. Why did I rank this quirk higher than Dark Shadow? Well, this quirk punched Dark Shadow so hard that during the final act of the movie, it went to go fight someone else. This is the strongest mutant type quirk in the entire series, like by a mile. Unlike other mutant type quirks, this quirk doesn't limit you to one animal. This quirk combines the strengths of many different animals. This quirk boosts the physical strengths of a user and allows them to punch so hard that they create wind pressure. Oh yeah, and this quirk allows you to breathe fire, unlike the actual dragon quirk user. All this disgusting power just to look like an abomination. Alright, so the title of this video is gonna be kind of a lie because number 8 is gonna be shared by Decay and Overhaul. These quirks kind of have the same functions, so I just went ahead and ranked them together. But if you don't accept this, just go ahead and knock Dark Shadow off the list and move Decay behind Overhaul. But these are one touch, one kill quirks, which means if you put your hand on someone, that person is going to die. We got one quirk that allows you to become Edward Elric, and then the other quirk just allows you to decay everything you touch. I do rank the Overhaul quirk slightly above Decay just because you can use the quirk on yourself and heal yourself, but it's still gonna hurt. Oh yeah, and the Overhaul quirk allows you to fuse with people without having to do a little dance beforehand. But don't go sleeping on Decay, because if you can't fly, you're basically fucked against this quirk. If you had this quirk and you got into a fight, the whole fight is turning into a game of the floor is lava. But either way, one touch from these quirks and you're getting sent straight to the Shadow Realm. I really did enjoy the movie Heroes Rising just because of how much of a menace 9 was. Like, he's honestly one of the strongest characters in the series, and that was before he was given the all-for-one quirk. Yeah, that weather manipulation quirk is kinda OP. You having this quirk basically turns you to Storm from the X-Men, so anything she can do, you could probably do with this quirk. You can summon lightning from the heavens, create tornadoes, manipulate wind to fly. You can create hurricanes so powerful that even the Florida Man could survive it. This quirk is held back because it does cause the user's cellular degeneration. Wait, what the fuck does that mean? I don't know, it just don't sound good. Bruh. Coming in at number 6, we have the quirk of the best character in My Hero Academia, Boku Goat, the quirk Explosion. This quirk turns you into a human bomb. Now, some of you might be thinking that this quirk is a little too high, and for one, shut up. And 2, this quirk is very versatile, and I like to rank versatility above raw output. But also, don't be slacking on this quirk, because this quirk has raw output too. My man Shigaraki can nuke a city just by touching the ground, but can he hit someone in the air? Bakugo has shown how dangerous this quirk can be in the right hands. First off, this quirk has great mobility. It allows you to fly at extreme speeds and allows you to change directions in an instant. This quirk can blow people up close and blow people up from afar. This quirk can also allow you to flashbang people so they're blinded for a little bit. Bakugo turned himself into a literal weapon with his AP shots, allowing him to do shotguns and rapid fires and all that jazz. Hell, you can make your throws even harder with this quirk. And his ultimate move, Howitzer Impact, turns him into a literal nuke. This quirk is perfect for anyone whose favorite gun in any video game is a rocket launcher and whose favorite toy as a kid was a firecracker. This quirk does have 2 weaknesses. For one, during the winter you gotta get a good warm-up lap in or 2 before you get a good sweat, and if you do too many big explosions, your arms are gonna start hurting. But other than that, it's one of the best quirks in the series. If it wasn't for All For One accidentally creating his biggest opposition in the form of a quirk, Endeavor will be the #1 hero of Japan. Hellflame is such a good quirk and people are sleeping on it. This quirk does rank slightly higher than Explosion because it does everything Explosion can do, but it has some added bonuses. You can throw fiery haymakers with this quirk. You can shoot blast of fire from your fingertips and your whole body with this quirk. You can fly with this quirk, but wait! There's more! If you don't feel like flying that day, you can just, I don't know, melt your feet into the wall and run up it. If you don't feel like shooting a big blast of fire from your body, you can just make an arrow out of fire and throw it. Or hell, just make a tornado of fire and send it towards your enemies. And you can increase the power of this quirk just by making those flames blue like Dabi. Oh yeah, matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and throw Dabi's quirk into this spot just because they're basically the same. And the Prominence Burn allows you to shoot a fiery laser from your body. But the weakness of this quirk is that if you use it too much, you will start to overheat. Imagine having a strong quirk like Hellflame, but none of the downsides. That's what half hot, half cold is. For anyone out there that thinks half hot, half cold is somehow weaker than Hellflame, I want you to put this into perspective. Half hot, half cold was made specifically to surpass Hellflame. Because think about it, you get overheated, just use your ice sight and cool off, and vice versa. If you get too cold, just heat yourself up. You are a living air fryer and freezer. With the ice side of the quirk, you can freeze people, places, create giant walls of ice, spikes, whatever. And with the fire side, you can do everything Endeavor can do with his quirk, and you can even fly, even though it looks completely stupid. Like, bro, Todoroki, you look so stupid flying with one leg. I cannot wait to see this animated. This quirk was created to surpass All Might in One For All. I guess the only drawback with this quirk is that you have to consciously regulate your body temperature. You can't just wildly throw out attacks like you can with Hellflame or Explosion. With this quirk, you have to consciously keep in mind that your body temperature is getting too hot or too cold, which I guess is hard for some people. They gotta think about how their body feels. Look, Endeavor might not be the best person, but he can at least take pride in that his nut created one of the coolest quirks in My Hero Academia, and it only took him like 4 tries to do it. Alright, the top 3 quirks on this list are honestly all tied. They could be switched around in any order and I would not see anything wrong with it. So with that being said, coming in at number 3 is the quirk New Order. There's a reason why All For One had to steal this quirk before he went to face One For All. It's because it's just that damn good of a quirk. For the people who don't know, the quirk New Order allows the person to imply up to 2 rules to anything they touch. Like, for instance, if you were to touch the ground and say, the ground is now made of jello, best believe that ground is now jello. Actually, now that I think about it, this is less of a quirk and more of like a JoJo stand. Like, this is ridiculous of how powerful this quirk is. But there's 2 downsides of this quirk. For one, you actually have to touch what you want to impose the rule on, and for 2, you actually have to know the name of it. But honestly, these are more inconveniences than downsides. The possibilities with this quirk is endless. Like, imagine you just touch the ground and say it's lava. The person you're fighting now has to play the floor is lava for real. Or imagine you're out and about and you're about to get robbed. You touch yourself and say, I am now bulletproof. You're now bulletproof. There's no way that anyone with this quirk in a scrap is losing. Dark Shadow, Decay, Overhaul, Hellflame, Explosion, New Order, all of these are top tier quirks. But imagine if you can have all these quirks at the same time. That's exactly what the quirk All For One allows you to do. This quirk turns you into a literal Swiss Army knife. Say you're fighting someone with fire abilities, you could probably reach into that bag of quirks that you have and find a water quirk somewhere. Or maybe you take that wind quirk you have and combine it with another amplification quirk, turning your winds into tornadoes. Imagine you're fighting someone with this quirk and they spin a wheel to decide which quirk they will use to beat your ass with today. Oh yeah, and I said it earlier, you can combine quirks with this quirk. My man Endeavor was able to combine 2 different quirks after nutting inside of Ray and having to wait 9 months on 4 different occasions. All For One allows you to combine like 6 quirks without having to bust a single nut. And with this quirk, you're prepared for all situations. My man Tokiyami has a very strong quirk, but no matter how strong he gets, no matter how long he trains, he will always get rinsed out by a flashlight, and there's nothing he can do about it. All For One doesn't have that problem. Say you're fighting someone who makes it an instant KO just by standing on the ground, then just float in the air. Say you're fighting someone with some spicy hot fire powers. You better add some H2O to that fight. All For One was absolutely running Japan before All Might had to stick his big blonde head into the scene. And my man Shigaraki is so strong with this quirk that they had to send America's strongest hero and a fleet of 9 kill streak rewards just to take him down. And my man Shigaraki still walked away smoking that red, white, and blue pack. All for one of the strongest quirks in the world. You have the ability to have any other ability in the world, and you still lose to a guy who just punches really hard. One for All is such an overpowered quirk. Super speed, super strength, you have it all. All Might with this quirk wasn't just the strongest hero in Japan, he was the strongest hero in the world. One for All is so busted that All Might single-handedly brought down crime rate to a single digit with this quirk. Mans could change the weather with a single punch. You can end a fight with a single finger flick with this quirk. This quirk has power that just overwhelms the opposition, and it gets stronger every time you pass it on to someone else. And not only did my man Deku get the strongest version of this quirk, but he also got the quirks of the previous people that had the quirk. And not only did he get these quirks passed down, but One for All made these quirks even stronger. The smoke screen quirk can blind your opponents so they can't even see the city streets, just so you can throw a haymaker from out of nowhere. Danger Sense makes it to where sneak attacks aren't even an option against you. Float makes it to where you can just float in the air and deliver haymakers. Black Whip allows you to swing around like Spider-Man and grab anyone running away from the ass whooping they're getting. And Fajin just makes it to where you can throw even stronger haymakers after doing a couple push-ups and squats. This quirk is just broken. I see why All for One had to do so much planning just to take on One for All. It's that broken. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And after getting punched in the face with a Detroit Smash, you should probably plan your funeral.